As the AI revolution continues, people's lives continue to be ruined. People are losing their jobs, not knowing how to provide for their families. Data centers are being built in areas where people do not want them. Electric bills are going crazy. They don't know how to survive, and yet it is getting pushed nonstop. Donald Trump was asked about AI, and during this AI revolution, what does he have to say to the concerns that people have, the concerns that families have in America regarding AI? We'll get to his answer here in a moment, but first, let's get some perspective. Let's take a look at the companies that are doing AI layoffs. Over 100,000 employees are impacted by AI-driven layoffs in 2025. Over 70,000 employees have been impacted by AI-driven layoffs in 2026. 45 plus CEOs have announced layoffs due to efficiencies made by AI. AI layoff announcements came from non-tech industries, so not just tech, so finance, logistics, consulting, media, retail, manufacturing. At least 8 companies announced AI-related layoffs affecting 10,000 plus employees each. They're all listed there, and more than 60% of announced layoffs occurred at companies with over 100,000 employees. It's a pretty big deal what's going on. And Meta slashes 8,000 jobs in one of the largest layoffs in company history as of May 2026. At least that's the reporting. I think it was the day before maybe they did that officially. So let's look at what Trump's answer is to this question.
What's your message to American families who are scared by the rise of AI? They're worried that their kids are not going to be able to have jobs someday because AI
Well,
will
I'll tell
take
you,
over.
AI has been amazing because right now we have more jobs, more people working right now in the United States by far than we ever had before. And outside of the war, and I assumed the economy was going to go down, the stock market would go down 20-25%. It's actually up. The stock market is higher now than it was before I started the Iran situation. And on the Iran, I had no choice because they were going to have a nuclear weapon. We're not going to give them a nuclear weapon.
In 2 weeks, they're going to have a nuclear weapon. And so with the manipulation of the stock market and his insider trading, he's like, hey, the stock market's up. Told people to buy this stock and they bought it. Told them to buy that stock and they bought it. Hey, it's going well for me. It's going well for others.
But that's going to end soon, one way or the other. Oil is going to come tumbling down. There's so much oil. We have 1,600 ships in the Strait that are loaded up with oil that are going to be coming out very soon. So we'll have to see. But the military has been unbelievable. The blockade has been infallible. Not one ship has gotten through the blockade. 37 have tried. They all wish they didn't.
Tell us about your call with Erdogan.
So his only answer to AI is great. AI is great. We got some more to show you here. Other congressmen are asked about it. This is Senator Josh Hawley is asked about AI. This is what he has to say.
I wanted to ask you about artificial intelligence. College graduates have been booing AI at their ceremonies this week, whether it's reading it out or they're just booing every mention of AI.
There sure are. I've got a couple of those. They'll be linked below in the pinned comment. I've got some more coming. You've got to see that if you haven't seen the boos.
What do you make of that?
Well, I make of it the fact that a lot of these college grads don't have jobs. I was talking to a group of college grads recently, college seniors actually, and they were giving me very similar sentiments about AI. They were saying that they can't find jobs, that, like 30-40% of them are unemployed, and they blame AI for this. And, they may well be right. We've got to make some choices about AI to make sure it actually is good for the American workforce. And I think a lot of these college grads don't think it will be.
It seems like big tech is really implementing their ways here. More data centers are popping up, and as that happens, it seems jobs for college grads are going down. I mean, what can you do about it?
Well, I think we've got to go in the opposite direction. We want to see new technology create jobs, not destroy jobs. And this is why we ought to pass legislation right now that would require these tech companies to turn over the data on how many jobs they're creating or how many jobs they're destroying. We ought to collect that data from all across the workforce. And then we ought to make sure that AI is getting implemented into these workforces in a way that actually creates jobs and gives rights to workers and doesn't take them away. So in my state, I can also tell you people do not want data centers. I mean, it's just in town after town in Missouri, people are showing up at these meetings, county commissioner meetings, the public utility board meetings.
No one cares, though. They just push it through. doesn't really matter. Or as many as 500 people showing up, shouting, begging, pleading to not have that data center come to a particular area, and didn't really matter. Board members just sit there; they're bought and paid for. So this is going to happen, and no matter how much pushback they get, seems it's going to happen.
And are saying, please don't put a data center in our community. I think elected officials need to listen to that.
But they don't. They don't listen to it one bit. They don't care. And because it's part of the plan, part of what's going on, and it's far more than just jobs. Although working through technological advances, any different technological advance in the past, people could yes, there were always people that were against it, and usually it was the older generations, not the younger generations. The younger generations are against it when they see no hope, and that is exactly what AI is providing. It is providing no hope. Other technological advances were very easy to see. Just go back to the internet, you were able to see, oh wow, you can do this, you can do that. What does AI provide? AI, like, everyone forces AI, and much of the time it just makes things take longer. It's a really ridiculous thing. Companies force AI, and you have to use the AI tools, and it makes things take longer. That's what's many are saying that are using it, and so there's not much of a payoff. Sure, there will be things that come from AI, like medical advances, but there's also medical tyranny that comes along with that, and the surveillance state coming forward from putting all these data centers in. So it's a serious problem, and it's all moving on toward the grand goal of transhumanism. But that's another topic. Let's hear something else here, saying that Georgia is basically becoming a large data center. Haven't seen this one yet.
So Georgia's just going to be one big data center. You guys, that is not one data center. That number right there is how many are right here. Also, I just found out that data centers don't even have to legally report how much water they use. Just when you think it can't get any worse, Georgia Power is taking people's property and homes through eminent domain to expand their high voltage power lines to support these data
Video down below on that. It's sickening what's going on.
Centers. Now, the lovely interns at Science for Georgia have made some interactive maps. The black spots are current data centers. The orange ones are ones that are coming. Look at the numbers just in this area. So these are the current operational estimates for water usage in Georgia. Now, why is this an estimate? Oh yeah, that's right, because they don't legally have to report how much water they're using. However, Senator Durbin out of Illinois has proposed this Water and Energy Transparency Act. The data centers would need to report their energy and water use, and this was just introduced in March. But then I was like, aren't they paying for water by the gallon? They are, and in fact, usually at a much lower rate than you and I. They negotiate rates. Google, for example, paid $6.08 per 1,000 gallons, whereas the locals were paying $10.80 for 1,000 gallons. But just because they're paying for it doesn't mean they have to report it. Now, Project Sail, the 829-acre data center that is coming to Coweta County, Georgia, Georgia Power is set to demolish 2230 homes because they need to expand the power lines. And they are doing this through eminent domain, which is the government's right to take your property if they need it for public use. And in this case, Georgia Power is a public use company. Now, they have to give these people fair market value for their homes and properties. From what I've heard, Georgia Power is not trying to do that.
And what's even more disturbing on top of it is Fox News boomers are commenting on posts like this, and ones pointing out about data centers going into communities, taking people's homes, and they're just like, well, it's all for the greater good. Of course, for the greater good, and you got to put it somewhere, and it's going to create all these jobs. And it's like, well, there are going to be some temporary construction jobs, to build the data centers. And then it's going to eliminate thousands of jobs, and there will be some maintenance jobs to maintain a data center. So yeah, do what you can to push against it. Like, subscribe, do all that. Thanks for watching Adam's Analysis. React to relevant cultural content, trending content, disturbing things happening in our world like this. Take a look at the pinned comment below for other videos to watch, and channel trailers down there as well to find out more about the channel. God bless.